Alright girls, these are my favorite brushes and favorite way to apply. I did edit this video from a live. I'm going to show you how I apply my makeup the most efficient way, the best way, my favorite brushes, and how to get that 5-minute face mastered. So I am going to be working out of my one compact Seint makeup. I have my contour, my foundation, which contour is also foundation, and then I have my bronzer, and then my I do love my demi from my melasma that I have here. If you have age spots, acne, scarring, anything like that, it is perfect for that. And then a little bit of lip and cheek and some illuminator to get that lip from within look. So hopefully you guys have some of these brushes. These are my favorites. These are my go-tos and my diehards. They're a little bit dirty, so don't mind that. I have to wash them up, but these 3 brushes are life. If you do not have these 3 brushes, these are the brushes you need. So we will start with the contour brush. So this brush is perfect for contouring. This is called the detail brush, and it has that very blunt edge, and you'll be able to easily apply that quick contour right along that cheekbone. You could take it along your jawline very quickly and then sweep it across your forehead. My favorite. Then flip it over to the pointier side. You can dip it into the first step of your foundation and easily clean up any contrast you may have. And then all this, like, see how this is darker? This is darker. We have darker. So anything that's darker is what we want to discover first with this pointy edge. Then we're going to flip over to this fluffy side. This is the blend brush. This is the best brush to have when applying your foundation. If you want that, I woke up like this look, natural, just easy glow. This is your go-to. I also love this for the same reason as this. It has that small end where you can color correct smaller areas, so you're not grabbing a whole bunch of makeup and putting it in a big spot. To tie it all together, I love to bring in this brush. I love to add my blush and bronzer with this. I actually go in and I do my bronzing, and it starts the blending process, and I go around, and then I take this side and I lightly stipple in my blush, and we are good to go. So I'm going to show you that quick 5-minute face really fast, and we're going to get this show on the road today. So I'm going to take my detail brush. Like I said, foundation is also including your contour, so there's no need to highlight and cover areas you're going to contour, because your contour provides coverage as well. We're going to lightly take and just lightly get the edge of the brush only. So I'm going to lightly just get the edge. You see how it's just along that edge there? Then I'm going to take and I'm going to find that cheekbone and I'm going to hug it all the way up until about here. But really I kind of like to just stay in this area because it ends up blending out anyways. So I'm going to take that. See, and we're just pressing it into that area, that cheekbone, defining that cheekbone, enhancing the natural shadow, and I kind of just leave it right like that. Okay, and then I'm going to do it to the other side. Again, just using the edge, not the whole brush. Find your cheekbone and stop where it gets a little squishy. Just take it and go pressing it, stipple, pouncing right into there, and then I like to kind of just angle it up a little bit to help frame that in. Then for your forehead, you can use the whole brush for this because we can just sweep right here. Now we're taking the whole brush. Okay, so it's kind of getting, you don't need a whole lot. Okay, we are just framing in this jawline here, so we can create that chiseled out look. If you have a little bit of jowls, you can just come right on there and go right under there. If you have a little bit of excess skin that we don't really like, we can just erase that. But it's not like coating the brush. You don't need a whole lot. Now see, you can kind of see I have a little bit of some excess. We're just going to define this natural shadow. And since I don't have a defined jawline, I like to bring it up behind my ear. If you have a nice, perfect jawline, you might not have to do this, but I like to just follow right behind there. And it just cleans it right up. Okay, and then I just leave those cheekbones nice and bold. You can even make them more bold. I love Astoria because it's nice and natural, but you can bold it up. I do wear the color indigo. If you're my color, I would recommend the color Astoria or indigo. Okay, just leave it nice and bold because we're going to blend at the end. Now we're going to take that same brush and flip it to that pointy side, like I said, and we're going to dip into our color corrector, which I will either match you to 2 or 3 shades depending on what you need and the areas you have. I have a lot of different colors. I have some fairness here and here. I have a little bit of pinkness here, and then I have that deep redness on my nose and darkness on my eyes. So I require 3 highlights. But having 3 highlights I used to think was a lot, but when you use all 3 together, it makes your makeup last you forever. So you're not just plastering a whole bunch of makeup to try and cover an area. So if I do recommend 3, I really recommend getting the 3 so you get the longevity of your makeup. Okay. Just neutralizing that area. That was the only areas that were dark, so that's the only areas I'm going to put this darker color there. If I did only match you to 2, then you would bring it onto your cheeks if you have a little bit of contrast there. Again, you can use what's left over on your brush. So just lightly dusting that area with the smallest amount of makeup. You do not need a lot, just start. And if you have a lot of pores in this area, you're going to want to kind of work your way over to it, not press right onto it. I'm just going to put a little bit more and then blend it out. Okay. Switch into the blend brush. But light and wispy, it is perfect. So now I'm going to be going into my main shade, which I'm going to lightly just kind of coat. Now again, this is brighter, so I'm going to leave this area alone, and then down here is lighter, and I'll show you what I do for here as well. But for the rest, I'm just going to kind of put all over. This is the best brush for the job. It literally just looks like a natural coverage. And again, we'll tackle my demi at the end for that melasma because it's more of a troublesome area. Okay, lightly feathering this out. When I draw on your face, I mark it like boop, 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 and that's literally what I mean, is to take this and just fan it out to create a balance, and then we'll come in with that brighter color. I'm going to flip it over to that smaller side, kind of target these areas here. All right, so I'm a little bit more fair here, and I'm fairer here. So I'm going to actually dip into and create my own custom color because I'm in between colors. When you're in between colors, you're actually going to be using, you can mix and match. This is what's great about this makeup, is having your year-round palette. You'll be able to mix and match your summer color, your winter color, your middle color. All of this works as a system together so that you don't need to go buy a new shade for a new time. You're just going to have what's in your palette. Okay, so for what I do along that area is I dip into my main and I dip into my brightener, which is also my winter color when I'm at my fairest. Just because this area is very bright. If I put my main shade all over, it will be a little bit too warm and pull a little bit yellow. If that is happening to you, reach out to me and let me know so we can troubleshoot, because you just need a lighter color there. But if I put my brightener there by itself, it will show texture. Showing texture means it's too bright. If you're seeing excess skin, dryness, stuff like that, it's too bright of a color for that area. So we'll just need to go to the darker one, your main. For this area here, I'm just going to use my brightener because it is pretty fair. And it all works together and it's going to flow seamlessly. So once you figure out your face and you know exactly where your colors go, that's why I put the cheetah hack in with the original email, because it's super easy for learning color placement and being able to know where to put what. And it's literally a paint by number approach. Take over to that same brightener, chicken foot, just to brighten it. Now again, if you have a lot of texture in this area, you might want to skip that. If you have a lot of color correcting in your nose, you might want to stick to your main for the brightening area. Again, everyone's face is different. Okay, I'm going to swap over to Demi super fast. I'm just going to do it. I'm actually going to cheat today and cover it with foundation. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, that's good. This is the color 03. If you have deep dark melasma, it might be your best friend. I've never had anything cover my melasma like Demi does. I'm just painting that color right on. And the color 03 just means orange and the level of depth it has. And then I'm just going to take that same main and fill in the gap up here because I didn't have any makeup there at all. Okay. Now it's time to blend. So blush and bronzer brush, dip it into my my bronzer and I start the blending process. So I kind of pinch the brush to get it right in there first. It's going to be very dark, and so you just need to blend it out. As you can see, I'm already starting to blend and the bronzer is starting to warm things up. So I'm just swirling into that contour right above it and bringing it up and following that contour line right below it, swirling into the hairline. Okay, so there's that contour line. I'm going to place it right above it and swirl. And we are almost done. Contour is blended. We're just going to add some blush to make it even more, and we'll use that with this side. But I do like to add a little bit of bronzer to my neck. Now I'm going to use the color Nude today. I love this color. It's a nice like mauve pinky purple, and I like to just use the edge. See how I have a lot of color on this side of the brush and not as much on this side? I just use the edge of the brush, like literally, and I like to put it on the outside of where my contour ends. If you put it on the apple of your cheek, it kind of actually pulls your face down. By putting it back a little bit and then pressing what's left back into that hairline, you're going to provide that lift. See it already? And you're just pressing this in, not really swirling. Just press into it. You can take your brush and kind of flick it up, but we're good. Whether you have dry skin or oily skin is going to depend on whether you have a setting powder or a setting spray needed. Just adding my illuminator here. This is the color Rose Gold. It just provides that natural lit from within look. Nice and glowy. I love how natural this makeup is. I am going to do a little bit of nose contour. It's my favorite. It's not needed at first, especially while you're learning, but it just really makes things pop. And we can softly blend it out too if you pick up. This is way too much product. It just mimics the natural shadow, and you just press that right in. And then take a little bit, I have a little bit of like a Whoville nose, lightly dust underneath of it so it doesn't do that. But I have all the tips and tricks for you. Just make sure you email me. But that is basically it. For me, I will use a little bit of setting powder, which also should be in your palette if you have dry skin, Vanilla Dust and Seint setting spray. If you have oily skin or like a normal to oily, I would recommend either the Urban Decay Ultra Matte All Nighter, or if you're oily, the De-Slick. For if you want a powder though, where you want it to be more pressed, I would grab like a NARS translucent powder, something like that. That won't be in your compact. But if you have dry skin, normal to dry skin, a little bit of Vanilla Dust is so perfect. I actually like to usually use this with my sponge, my Perfector sponge, but lightly just place it on those areas. But it will take away that like dewy glow look. So if you want that glow, make sure you kind of use a setting spray that will, and the Seint setting spray is perfect for that. So if you can swing the palette 27, I definitely recommend it because I like to keep my eyeshadows and my powder illuminators on the bottom. And then I have usually my highlight and contour, bronzer, all the works here for my face. And then if I'm traveling, any lip and cheeks and all of that jazz, then I might want extras. But this is like my favorite because the goal is to have you all in one place. Here, I promise you, you're going to love this makeup, and it has a 30-day money back guarantee anyways. If you get the bigger palette, you don't have to fill it right away. You can just get your regular makeup that I match you to, and then you'll have room to grow, which is amazing because you're not going to want to be digging in this palette like I have because, well, I'm an artist, so I have all the palettes. But this is what I did personally. I had a palette size this because I was like, this makeup isn't going to work for me. It's not good. Yes, I am severely allergic to every makeup out there. And this is the only thing. That's why it took me forever to buy it, because I was like, I break out in hives, like straight up every makeup. I've ever bought. I'm in Hives or Welts, depending on what it is. This is beeswax, all natural, so it is actually healing your skin as it goes, and it really just takes on that second skin nature. So as long as you're applying the way I teach, which less is more, you're not going to have a thick cake face. It's going to be nice and thin, and I don't even feel like I have makeup on. I just feel like I put lotion on, and as the day goes on, it just looks better and better as you go. So there's 4, 8, and 12, and these are all great starter ones that are easy to slip right into a small bag or purse. And then again, like I said, grabbing something like, I work out of the clutch because I love to take this when we are traveling because I can put my brushes in here, and then I have like my wallet and stuff like that. I actually don't really use the wallet part of it unless I have to. Right now, just at the season of life, I have little kids and stuff, so we're running around. But I do like this for carrying my brushes when I'm on the go. And then also, like I said, this is the one. This is the one that will house all of your goodies. Get that when you can as well. So I love you guys. Thanks for being here, and I will see you next. Hey girl, so I finished up the rest of my face with one eyeshadow and a little bit of mascara and a little bit of lipstick, okay? Same color we used on our cheeks. If you have any questions at all, make sure you reply to this email, and I would love to help you out. I love you so much already. Can't wait to get to know you more.